I'll shoot you an invite.
What's happening?
They are
me
doing
and Sarge are going to do a little bit of training. He's relatively
training
new
night.
to the game.
Oh, okay.
And Tiago, did you want an invite?
Did I have one?
I mean, it's gonna be a pretty small deal. I mean, it's up to you.
Sure, why not?
Did I have one?
Yeah, I guess Lion. Let me get you 1 cent.
Got it.
Do you want me to take any specific mech?
Nah, I'm just gonna grab one of the quick draws. I've already got kitted.
Okay.
Which mech should I bring in?
Whatever mech you feel comfortable bringing. Is that Sarge that was asking?
Yeah. I didn't know if I should bring the light or the heavy or the medium.
Bring your heavy or medium. What do you have for heavy or medium?
For heavy, I got the Black Knight, and for medium, I got the Trebuchet, but it's set up for.
Your Treb is an El Rimbo, right?
Yeah.
Bring your Black Knight. And I'm sending you an invite now. There we go. Alright, it looks like it's just us tonight.
I go easy?
Yeah, this is mainly to help Sarge out. Tiago is part of the Stormbringer, so he's competent. I know you're competent, Lion.
What's competent?
Just, that means you're good at the game. It's just to help Sarge learn the ropes since he's very new.
Sure.
Let's see. We're gonna do Canyon. I like doing Crimson until they did the new pass on it. Now my frame rates are awful on it. The older maps are better for my frame rates.
I hate how they redid Caustic. It used to be the best map in the game. Or they did it.
I actually like the remake for Caustic better. But I don't like the remake for Crimson.
Yeah.
I don't like the remake for Frozen City. Alright,
Well,
that looks good. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and launch.
I never liked Frozen City, but
I didn't like the old one, but I like the new one even less. They need to just put all the old maps back in. Keep the new ones, put all the old ones back in, give us that much more variability, that much more selection. I don't know why they can't or won't.
I wish they didn't have the voting. The voting's just annoying. They should just stick you with whatever map they do and you just deal with it.
Yeah, I missed the RNG. It's probably the only RNG I actually liked. Okay, Sarge, what are some things you would like to focus on tonight?
Well, the biggest problems I'm having are, and they already helped me out a lot with the one thing was
sensors
knowing exactly what to do.
Weapons online.
Like, what's my role in the group? The biggest problem I was having with the Black Knight was I set it up for a bunch of extended range large lasers, and I was trying to pop out and shoot with it.
But
because all the weapons are low, I was just getting smoked.
Nobody shoots anybody else, okay? Go to the center of the map, where the Twin Buttes are.
No killing Nightmare?
No killing anybody yet, Cub. Everybody go to the center so we can meet up. Alright, sorry Sarge, go ahead. It's important to say that, otherwise Cub will start shooting people.
I gotcha.
Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to. The big help today was just changing up the Nightmare or the Black Knight a little bit, and taking all the extended range lasers a little more brawly, I guess.
Yeah,
knowing like basic techniques.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people talk about mixed loadouts being classic to BattleTech and MechWarrior, and technically that's true, and a lot of people like to run that for variability, but realistically, in most games, especially this one, it's all about your min-max. You want to really focus your mech on one basic discipline. You want to brawl, you need to make sure all the guns are brawling oriented. You want to snipe, you need to make sure you're a sniper. Excuse me.
Now this is what I was, and I got a lot of the information reading and watching YouTube.
Perfect.
What I was told was, and I'm looking.
Funny guy.
What I was told was the heavy mech, especially, that you can't really set it up for sniping because you're taking up.
It depends on the mech, really. There are some that are better than others.
Jaeger mechs
Mostly
are good for
me,
sniping.
and this is personal as far as my take on it. If you're gonna snipe, you need to be quick. You need to be nimble with high agility. That way you can rock out, fire, and rock back.
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm looking for you. I don't see you.
I'm coming
yet.
up right now.
Oh, 10-4.
Yeah, I walked the wrong direction.
Oh, that's alright. It happens.
Now I set up that Arctic cheetah for sniping, and that seems to work. Am I not going up this hill?
Yeah, is that the ER large or the PPC sniper?
New target.
The
acquired.
Arctic
Maybe
cheetah I
guys-
set up with ER large.
Yeah, I've seen that one work pretty well. The
I
meta
use it.
build is like 6 small pulse lasers with ECM. That's a very scary mech, but you have to be very good at ducking and weaving and dodging and making your snapshots. Some mechs like the Jaeger and the Catapult make very good snipers because their profile, the Jaeger's high mounts and the Catapult profile is kind of low to the ground, which makes it harder to hit at range. So they can sit there with Gauss or ballistics and hit across the map. While other mechs like the Black Knight, which has low slung guns, don't make very good snipers.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about this mech is you have to put yourself all the way out there to shoot.
Exactly. The quick draw has high mounts on his torso, so it can make a pretty good sniper if you want it to. But it just depends. The nice thing about the
That's
quick
cool
draw...
paint.
Beg pardon?
That's cool paint on your mech, the skeleton
Oh, thank
thing.
you.
That's
So yeah, knowing your mech's focus, looking at you got triple large pulse, triple medium pulse. That gives you good skirmishing out to about 600 meters. Beyond that, I mean, what's your range in the bottom right corner say? Is it like 450 or something for large pulse lasers?
large says 419.
So call it 420. So you've got to 840 meters. At 840, you can deal damage, but it's only going to be like 1 point. So as a general rule of thumb, what I do, like my large pulses on my other quick draw, not this one, but the other one are like 410 or something like that, whatever it is, rounding. So what I say is, okay, I can shoot to 800 meters to deal damage. If I'm going to shoot 800 meters, I'll only shoot one. The whole purpose of that is just to tag the enemy mech so that if it dies, I get a kill assist. I get points for it, basically. But I deal so little damage at that range that it's not worth shooting all 3 of my large pulse lasers and building all that heat. The heat trade-off's not worth it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
So when you're in that situation, you have to kind of make a decision. Is the damage output worth the heat buildup? And my general rule of thumb is, if your optimal range is, I'm going to decrease it to 400 to make it easy for math. If your optimal range is 400, then don't alpha strike past 600 because of the diminishing returns. It's not worth the heat to shoot half again your range. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, if you want to shoot past that to snag a kill assist, go for it. But I wouldn't trigger all your guns because you won't deal enough damage to really make a difference. And then when you get closer, you can use the medium pulse lasers. And again, half again the range. On mine, it's 242. I'm guessing it's probably similar on yours. And surrounding to 240, that means at 480 I can deal damage. So maybe at 380 or 400, probably 380 is where I wouldn't alpha strike past that. Again, because of the diminishing returns. Any other questions on like guns or ranges or anything like that?
Nah, I really like doing the LRM thing, but
LRMs work well in the lower tiers. LRMs
like, how do you know what tier you are?
Beg pardon?
How do you know what tier you are?
You can look on your Mech Lab screen, the top
Left-hand corner.
left corner. Thank you, Cub. I'm stammering there for a second. Top left corner, it'll tell you what your tier is, and it has like a little XP bar. Each time you win, it fills up a little more. It's really hard to make it go down. It tends to grow very easily, but it tends to decrease with great difficulty. So eventually you'll be tier 1, whether you want to or not. But that tells you what tier you're in. And generally it's supposed to be used to help sort new players from veteran players, so that the new players play with other new players on greater frequency than they do with the veteran players, and to help level the playing field, so to speak. Realistically, it's not a real great tool because everybody up through tier 2 plays with everybody else. Tier 1 is the only group that doesn't play with tier 5, which are the new players. So realistically, if you're tier 5, you're still getting mixed in with people all the way up to tier 2. So it's not like you're fighting all other new players. You're still fighting a lot of savvy vets that can take you apart, basically, just based on their experience. Let's see. So at the lower tiers, you do tend to get matched with other lower tiers more predominantly than the higher ones. You will see higher tier players, but
I notice I play better players when I play with you.
right, because what happens is you get pulled up into a higher tier bracket with us when you're dropping in the group. So even though you'll be fighting against other tier 5s when dropping with a lot of T1s and T2s in a group with us, what happens is the weighted end is higher on the tier scale, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if you dropped in a pug drop out of 24 players, maybe half of you are tiers 4 and 5. And maybe most of the rest are tier 3. If you drop with us and we're mostly T1s and T2s, maybe half are going to be T1, T2, and most of the rest are going to be tier 3. And that's kind of how it weights out. You'll still have some T4 and T5 in our group, but most are going to be in that upper half. Whereas if you drop by yourself, most are going to be in the bottom half, and you'll just have a smattering of higher ones. So because of that, LRMs work really well in the lower queue, where pilots aren't as accustomed to dodging, to using cover. They probably don't have the more expensive modules like radar deprivation to help protect them from LRMs. And let's see. They probably also don't have the funds for the better mechs that have ECM or maybe the better AMS modules or different things like that also. Generally though, it's the lack of skill that makes them effective. The higher you go, the less effective LRMs are because you see a much greater presence of ECM, and pilots are much better about using cover and radar deprivation and generally not presenting targets. About the only way to make LRMs useful at high tiers is to build a whole team around it. Take like four LRM mechs, a couple of narc and tag support mechs to gain locks, and then the rest are all like tough brawlers to make a defensive line. And their whole purpose is to hold the enemy back and give the LRM boats time to shell them.
I mean, it's
Beg pardon?
that basically mean it's a waste of time to put like tag on my later mechs, like.
Yeah, generally speaking, unless somebody in your team is going to run LRMs, it's really a waste of time. I mean, what I do is with my LRM boats, I put a tag on my LRM boats to help me get locks, because I can't rely on other people to get them for me, unless, like I said, unless the whole team is going to do it. But realistically, LRMs, the higher you go, become more and more useless unless you're building a whole team around that fighting format. So that's one reason why I say if you want to use LRMs now, that's great, but don't build your entire fighting style around them and neglect other fighting styles, because as you start to climb higher in the game, you'll find they become less and less effective.
Yeah, I got that trebuchet. I'll probably keep it because
It's good to have an LRM boat just for fun, and also when you're having lag issues, they're still effective because you can tell somebody, hey, I'm having issues with lag, and usually somebody will say, okay, well, I'll take a Raven with tag or something, or an arc, and then they'll help you get locks. And even with lag, all you have to do is get the mouse into the general area, lock on, and fire. So I run mine usually when I'm having bad internet days, or when I'm feeling trolly.
Okay.
We start killing people now.
Well, if Tiago's up for it, you can go fight Tiago. Let's see. What about movement? How do you feel about movement, Sarge?
Pretty good, I guess. I mean, like I said, it's a slower mech, but
You got the hang of your torso and legs moving independently?
oh yeah, I got that.
What about torso twisting to shield?
Yeah, I just actually figured that out. I just saw that on YouTube the other day, and I was using it a couple times today. That when you start to take damage, turn and let the arms take damage.
Exactly. So, like, if you and I were brawling right now, you were asking about that earlier, I would come, I would look at you, and I would alpha strike, boom, and then I'd twist and shield. And I'd twist back, alpha strike, boom, twist and shield. Alpha strike, boom, twist and shield. Just like that.
Okay.
And I would basically sacrifice one side of my mech, and then once I take so much damage,
You shooting me?
I would reverse to the other side and repeat and sacrifice the other half of my mech. And then eventually both sides are so banged up it doesn't matter because they're both you're gonna lose the side next salvo, so you just sacrifice whichever side is facing. And then what happens is after you lose a side, like if you were to take off my left torso, I would keep shielding with my left torso. because any damage dealt to the left torso now deals half damage to the center torso.
Okay. Well, I got an XL engine, so...
In that case, yeah, you wouldn't want to... Yeah, it would be death for you. But generally speaking, and this includes arms, legs, any component, if a component is destroyed on your mech, any damage dealt to the destroyed component travels inward towards the center torso at half damage. So if you lose your arm, and you keep shielding with that same side, it travels at half damage. So if I take off your right arm, any damage I deal to the right arm after destroying it will travel at half damage to your right torso.
Okay.
So let's say your left torso is open and badly damaged, but your right torso is pretty well armored. You want to shield with your right side. Even after your arm's gone, if you keep shielding with your arm, your right torso will only slowly take damage.
Okay.
And you can keep protecting your left torso that way.
Alright, and what about legging? I heard going after somebody's leg had a good tactic.
Generally it works better for lights and mediums, not so well for heavies and assaults. Heavies and assaults have a lot of armor, so it's diminishing returns. With a light mech or a medium mech,
Ouch.
Speed is always important to survival. Once you're legged, you're pretty much dead. But here's the caveat. With heavies and assaults, there's so much armor on the legs, it's really hard to leg them. And there's a comparable amount of armor on the legs compared to their torsos. And sometimes with the quirks, their legs are healthier than the torsos. So what happens is if you wail on the legs, like if you and I were fighting right now and I'm shooting your leg, you're shooting me from at least 3 or 4 components on your upper chest. You know, both torsos. Looks like you got a gun on your head. Looks like a gun on your right arm and a gun on your left arm. You got 5 components you're shooting me, and you're an XL. So I can look at your weapons and know from the tonnage that you have to be an XL. So if I just punch out your side torso, I can kill you very quickly in the match, basically.
Yeah.
If I shoot your leg, even if I leg you, you're still fully functional in terms of firepower, and you're still killing me. Basically, if I went for your leg, you would beat me. If I went for your side torso, it would be a really close fight, because this is a standard engine mech, so I can sacrifice both torsos. So it would be a lot harder for you to kill me than it would be for me to kill you. You have more firepower, but you have less vitality. I have greater vitality, but less firepower. It's an even match. My speed and agility is also better, so I can shield more effectively.
So even in a situation where I'm dealing with a guy who's got a standard,
When he's
versus
got a
still always the
standard-
best target.
Well, for where you're at, center torso is probably your best bet. When you get more acquainted with the game and you recognize certain mechs, you'll understand what side to shoot them. Hunchback, for example, is an asymmetrical mech. Most of the guns are in the right torso. Most Hunchbacks are standard engine mechs. Even though they're standard engine, you generally want to shoot that right torso because most of the guns are in it. Once you take the right torso off, you neuter the mech.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see, what's another good one? The Orion is also, I think it's the left side on it. I'm trying to remember. I don't own Orion, so I can't remember. I believe it's the left torso. Has like all but one gun on it. So like if you take the left torso off, the Orion's neutered.
Okay.
So that's generally better than legging it. Legging's best for lights and mediums because of their low armor and low health. They really need to rely on their speed to help them get around the enemy and to help them maneuver. Once you leg them, they're easy to kill. Compared to heavies and assaults, you generally don't have time to leg them because when you're fighting heavies and assaults, that usually means the main push has come. And so at that point, you don't have time to go for the legs. Now, if you're sparring at range, legs might be a good target because you have that range interval. You're not being pressed. You can afford to take time, leg them, and give you more time to maneuver and pick them apart. But in a straight-up brawl, when the enemy's pushing into you, you don't have the luxury to leg them. Now, that being said, if you see an enemy mech that has bad damage to its legs and healthy torsos, the leg at that point becomes a better target because it's already so badly damaged. So let's say Cub was wailing on your leg, and he opened up your leg and then you killed him. I see you attacking me, and I see your leg has no armor and the internals are yellow. At that point, I might go ahead and shoot your... Hey, Cub, don't shoot him.
Oh, I thought you said wailing at his leg.
No, I'm being figuratively.
Sorry.
Well, your leg right now is red.
Right.
So if we were in a fight and I saw your leg was that badly damaged, I might go ahead and shoot it just to give me that advantage. Because your torso is so heavily armored, the leg is the better option. But if your right leg was as healthy as your left leg, I would just start attacking your right torso. it looks like you've got a large pulse laser on your right arm. Is that true?
Yes.
So I look at that and I see you've got, it looks like a gun in your left torso, three guns in your left torso maybe, or is that a head mount?
Head mount.
Okay, so it looks like you got 3 guns on your left, 2 guns on your right, and 1 of the heads. I would probably go for the left torso to try to take off 3 of your guns.
What do you have? You have 2 in your left, 2 in your right, and 1 on each arm?
Basically, yeah. I'm a completely symmetrical build. You're slightly asymmetrical. Even if I take your left torso, you still got 3 guns left. That's pretty much it. When it comes to components, I prioritize based on damage. If the mech is healthy across the board, then I shoot the most. I shoot the weakest part.
Ooh.
Since we only got 2 minutes left, we can go ahead and brawl it up if you want,
Okay.
and then we'll pick up Ramus and Blackout.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and start
How
shooting
you
each other.
Not losing to Tiagos.
Okay.
Oh no.
Where are you guys taking?
Oh god, this is gonna be close. No! No!
I was already caught.
Are you guys immediate?
Critical.
You want to be careful when showing your back.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to use the armor on your rear. But if you don't have much, be careful with regard to how long you show it to the enemy.
Right
Ooh, you took my arm off.
destroyed.
Why aren't
Right
you popping his torso?
Damage. Medium
Wow, all those pulse
laser
lasers are still
destroyed.
like. There we go.
Left arm critical damage. Heat level critical. Left arm destroyed.
So that's in that situation when I shielded like that. What you can do is you can wait till I turn back and then shoot me.
Kill him!
Target destroyed.
Thank you.
So what happens is if I turn to shield and you shoot me after I turn,
Yeah.
you're wasting your volley in the part that I want you to shoot.
Acquired.
Does that make sense?
Left
Gotcha.
torso.
So you want to wait. You
cord
don't-
out.
So you want to wait till I turn back towards you.
Medium pulse laser destroyed.
Please kill him for me!
Getting a group together, should I wait
No!
and drop him?
Do not lose!
Torso destroyed.
Yes!
That was close, Tiago. Got the wrong torso. If you shot the other torso, that would have been game. So when you're brawling in a group, what happens is people get excited, trigger happy, and they just start cutting away and wailing at people. So you have to really keep your presence of mind, because what can happen is, like, when you twisted away from me and you noticed I didn't shoot you that last time, I waited and waited, and you turned back toward me, and then I shot you.
Yeah.
What I was doing was 2 things. One, I was using the fact you're facing away from me to give my mech time to cool off so I could afford another alpha strike. And 2, I was saving the alpha strike for when you presented your damaged center torso to me so that I could put the damage where it mattered. If I just shot at you while your back was turned, I probably would have chewed through the last of your rear armor and dealt damage to your center torso, but I wouldn't have killed you. And what would have happened is you would have turned around with a fresh salvo. I would have probably been overheated or close to overheating, and I would have been at your mercy. So a lot of people talk about this being a point and shoot, like a Twitch game, but really there's a lot of thinking that goes on, because when you're attacking, even if it's a fast-paced shoot, twist, you're always thinking about where am I going to put my shots, when am I going to shoot, and how am I going to maneuver my mech. You can take advantage of the terrain during a fight to give yourself time to cool off or to give yourself cover, so that even if you're fighting in scant cover, like for example, if you're on Crimson Strait and there's those bridge pylons, if you're brawling, what I'll do is I'll often time it so that my mech slips behind a bridge pylon so that I can buy myself about 2 or 3 seconds to cool off while the enemy has to clear the pylon to come at me. And that by the next time they do, I've got a fresh alpha strike waiting for them.
Alright.
Let's see, Ramus and Blackout need invites. Do you guys want to keep doing training night, or do you want to go back to normal drops? Up to y'all.
I'll do training.
I'll do whatever.
I'm gonna be doing normal drops because I really need to get on that leaderboard.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
also. Claim 2.
I've quit trying to do Orions for the leaderboard. I've gotten sick of the clan ones.
I'm holding at 10 on the quick draw charts. Hoping I can hang on to that.
If you guys want to go, if we play some regular drops, I'll do that.
Okay, up to you guys. I mean, Sarge, I'm willing to do one-on-ones if you want. If you want to just do single drops and pick up some tips. Or we can go do regular drops as a group. Completely up to you guys. This is the... From 9 to 10 is the time I usually dedicate to just answering questions and doing whatever.
I would actually like to do some regular drops and try some of the stuff you just showed me.
10 and 4. Alright, if you guys want to drop the lobby, I'll send a new group invite out.
Got it. As long as I can make stuff go boom, I'm happy.
I have a quick question for you. Does ferrous armor actually give you more armor, or is it just reduced weight, basically?
Ferrofibrous, what it does is it gives you more armor per ton. Your overall armor on your mech does not increase. You still have the same cap. It just means that you have basically lighter armor. So I think it's like 2 or 3 points of armor for every 10th of a ton. And ferrofibrous basically doubles that to like 5 or 6 points, something like that.
So it's basically just weight reduction?
It's really just weight reduction is all it is. And when you're comparing Endo to Ferro, Endo's better because it actually gives you a better weight reduction. They both cost the same number of slots. So if you're going to pick one of them, I recommend Endo over Ferro. The only time you should use Ferro is if you really have a lot of slots to burn and you just need that extra ton and a half, whatever it is it gives you. I don't even think it's a full ton and a half. It's like a ton and... It's like 1.2 tons or something like that. Blackout, are you already in a group?
Yeah, Cub formed a group is what I thought y'all said.
I was making one to... Let me make one because I got to get Sarge and some others in it. You guys
Got
join mine.
Too many decisions.
Please invite me when you have a chance.
I've got everybody on my list. So it's quicker for me to just grab everybody than to have Cub add them as friends and then invite them.
I think I know everybody besides Sarge Hammer.
That should be everybody now.
Let's see.
Yeah, everybody in TeamSpeak's got an invite.
You. Okay, I'll drop. ODX